Hello student, myself Ruma. Welcome to my YouTube channel Learn with Ruma. I am MA in Economics and BA with method paper Mathematics. Today I am going to discuss an important topic of mathematics, time and distance for competitive exam. It can be used for competitive exam also and for other classes also. In the previous session, I have already started time and distance. Today I am going to discuss about some points. Let us now see what happens when the moving body has a length of its own and has to cross a point or another body having some length. See, giving an example. The last session I have already discussed how to calculate the speed and how to calculate the distance, etc., etc. Today I am going to discuss about example 2. In this respect, just I am informing you, I am not so expert about drawing, so I may kindly be excused for my drawing only. Okay. Now let us start example 2. Suppose there is a palm tree by the side of the railway track. Okay. What time will a train of length 150 meter travelling at a speed of 45 km per hour take to cross the palm tree? See, right now you just see the example, see the figure 1. Suppose this is a palm tree and this is a train, and in the first portion this is engine. The length of the train is 150 meter. Okay. And in figure 2 you see here in figure 1 the train is moving towards the palm tree and it touches here in the figure 1, see the touches the palm tree just, and in figure 2 this is the palm tree and the train has already crossed the palm tree and it is moving this way. So how we have to find out? The question is it is asked, if it is runs at a speed of 45 km per hour, then what time will a train take to cross the palm tree? Now you have already noticed the figure 2. Okay, in the figure 2 it has already crossed the palm tree. Now see, this is the process. The process of crossing starts when the front of the engine reaches the palm tree as shown in the figure 1. You see, the process of crossing, the train is crossing the palm tree when the train reaches the palm tree. The train reaches here the palm tree as shown in the figure 1. Okay. Now the process of crossing ends when the end of the train just leaves the tree as shown in figure 2. You see figure 2, the crossing figure 2 here already crossed the palm tree and the process of crossing ends here. Okay, in figure 2 you have noticed. Now during the time the train has to cover a distance equal to its own length, that is 150 meter. The length of the train already been given 150 meter. So here during this time the train has to cover a distance equal to its own length, that is 150 meter. Now question arises, why 150 meter it is? Because here it is, see, this is vertical, the palm tree is a vertical object. Okay, vertical object. Here is horizontal length, as it is vertical object, the vertical length is being taken, vertical length is being shown, but the horizontal length cannot be noticed. It is so much negligible, it is too negligible, so it cannot be accepted, but it cannot be accepted for calculation purpose. So when if there is a vertical object and the horizontal length cannot be determined properly, when it is negligible, then this is taken as a point. This is taken as a point. So which new point you just learn? You just have learnt. Now if there is no horizontal length, but there is horizontal length, maybe a palm tree has a horizontal length obviously, but it is too negligible, so it cannot be determined, so it is neglected, it cannot be calculated, so it may be taken as a point. So right now when the example of palm tree is being given, then it may be taken as a point. Got it? Point. Okay. So you see, the position of palm tree is taken as a point because the horizontal length of a vertical object means palm tree, is not considered. Horizontal length of a vertical object, as palm tree is the horizontal as the palm tree, the horizontal length is too negligible, so this it is not considered. Horizontal length is not considered. Having seen the both figure 1 and 2, have you noticed both figure 1 and figure 2? Having seen the both figure 1 and figure 2, it is understood that in order to cross a point, a moving object will have to cover its own length. See, as there is no horizontal length of this palm tree, so the the length of train is 150 meter, so it covers only when it crossed the palm tree, when it started here, when it crossed the palm tree, then the length is here only 150 meter. So from both the figure 1 and figure 2, it is understood that in order to cross a point, a moving object will have to cover its own length only. How much length of this moving object? Here moving object, what is this moving object? Yes, the train. Yes, the train. What is the length of this moving object? That is, what is the length of the train? Only 150 meter. So obviously the moving object will have to cover its own length only. That means it has to cover only 150 meter. Here the time is calculated on the basis of unitary method. The basis of unitary method. In the last session I have discussed about the unitary method little bit, and when I calculated the example 1, then I have used unitary method. So here also unitary method is to be used. Now let us see how much time the train will take to cross the palm tree. Okay. To cover 45 kilometer, kind of question. What is written in the sum? In the example 1, palm tree by the side of the railway track, what time will the length 150 meter travelling at a speed of 45 kilometer per hour. So how much time the train will take to cross the palm tree? So to cover 45 kilometer, that means 45,000 meter. You know, 1,000 meter means 1 kilometer. So 45 kilometer means 45,000 meter. The train takes 1 hour. 1 hour means how much second? 60 into 60 second. To cover 1 meter, the train will take 60 into 60 by 45,000 second. Therefore, to cover 150 meter, I have converted 45 kilometer to meter because the length of the train has been given meter. So we have to convert, the unit is to be taken as same. So as the length of the train is given 150 meter, so we have converted speed 45 kilometer into as 45,000 meter. Got it? How I converted? Okay. Why I converted? So to cover 1 meter, the train will take 60 into 60 by 45,000 second. So to cover 150 meter, the train will take 60 into 60 by 45,000 into 150 second. So it is equal to 12 second. So the answer is the train will take 12 seconds to cross the palm tree. The train will take 12 seconds to cross the palm tree. Okay. Got it? Okay. So, here you got a palm tree, you have noticed a palm tree there where horizontal length is negligible, but sometimes it is not, every time it own it cannot be the train cannot cross only palm tree, the train can cross the bridge also, okay, bridge also, platform also, isn't it? Okay. So, if suppose now if a train crosses a bridge, then what will be happening? See, now I am going to another point, another example I am explaining with the help of another example. Now let us discuss how it may be calculated when a train crosses an object that has horizontal length. So, bridge, platform, so everything has horizontal length, isn't it? That is not vertical object, that is the horizontal object. Obviously, they must have horizontal length. In other words, to find out how much time the train will take to cross a horizontal object. If the object, instead of vertical object, if the object is horizontal object, say bridge, platform, then how much the train will take to cross that object, okay. Now see, example 3. Find the time taken by a train of length 120 meter moving with a speed of 60 km per hour to cross a bridge of length 330 meter. Okay, the here length of the train is 330 meter, the speed is 60 km per hour. Okay, and here the length of the bridge is 330 meter and the length of the train is 120 meter and the speed of the train is 60 km per hour. The 330 meter, this is the length of the bridge. That means this is the length of the horizontal object. This is the length of the horizontal object. In the example 2, we have got the length. We have taken the example of vertical object. Here the object is horizontal object, whose length is 330 meter, horizontal length is 330 meter. See again the example of a bridge, figure 1 in the C. This is a bridge, the train is moving, the length of the train is 120 meter, okay. The train touches here, and the figure 2, the train already touches here in the bridge and already crossed the bridge, and right now it is moving, crossing the bridge, it is moving forward, okay. So, from figure 1 we find that the process of crossing starts when the front of the engine touches the left of the bridge. You see, this is the bridge, this is the bridge, it is the left of the bridge. So, here the process of crossing started when the train touches the left of the bridge, okay, and left of the bridge. And from figure 2 we find that the process of crossing ends when the end of the train just leaves the right end of the bridge, just leaves. You see, the process of crossing, the train crossed total whole bridge has been crossed by the train and ends right. Here you see, when the ends of the train just leave the right end of the bridge. This is the right end and train leaves the right end of the right end of the bridge. Here the process of crossing ends. Process of crossing, the left of the bridge starts and the process of crossing ends at the right of the bridge, right end of the bridge, process of crossing ends. Got it? Okay. So, from figure 2 we find that to do the process of crossing, the train has to cross the length of the bridge and its own length. Okay, that is, this crosses 330 plus 120 meter is equal to 450 meter. You see, the length of the bridge, in the question it is 330 meter. 330 meter. This is the length of the bridge. The length of the train is 120 meter. So when it starts, at the left end, at the left end 120 meter, but when the process of crossing starts and when it ends, then the train already crosses the bridge, it already crosses 330 meter and also 120 meter here also. 120 meter the length of the train in the figure 1 you see, and 330 for the bridge, 330 meter from the bridge. When its own length 120 meter plus the length of the bridge, when it covers its own length plus length of the bridge, then the process of crossing ends. Okay. So, how much meter it has been covered? 120 its own length plus the length of the bridge 330. Okay. So, total how much length it has been covered, the process of crossing when it is completed, how much meter it has been covered by the train. So, that is why I am telling from figure 2 we find that to do the process of crossing, the train has to cross the length of the bridge and its own length, that is it crosses length of the bridge and its own length, its train's own length. So, it crosses then 330 for the bridge, 330 for the bridge and 120 for the train. So, to adding these we got 450 meter. Okay. Thus, we may say that if a moving body of a given length has to cross a static body of given length, then it crosses a distance equal to the sum of its own length and the length of the static body. The bridge is the static body. So, when it crosses the static body, then it has to static body being horizontal object both, then it has to cover its own length, the length of the train plus the length of the bridge. Adding these two, the process of crossing ends. So, that is why 330 plus 120, 450 meter the train has to cover. So, now we work out the problem by unitary method. For going 60 kilometer, speed has been given 60 kilometer per hour. For going 60 kilometer or 6000 meter, I have converted to meter because the length of the train has been given by meter as well as the length of the bridge has been given by the meter. So, for going 60 kilometer or 60,000 meter, the train takes 1 hour or 60 into 60 seconds. For going 1 meter, the train takes 60 into 60 by 60,000 seconds. So, total train, how much meter has been covered by the train? How much? You see, the length of the bridge 330 plus length of the train is 120. So, total 450 meter. So, for going 450 meter, the train takes 60 into 60 into 40 by 60,000 second, that is 27 second, that is 27 second. So, therefore, the train will take 27 seconds to cross the bridge. The train will take 27 seconds to cross the bridge. So, today you got 2 points. One point is, if a train has to cover a vertical object, in the vertical object the horizontal length is so much negligible. So, horizontal length is not considered. So, then if the train crosses, a vertical object, then only length of the train is to be taken to calculate the time. But if the train crosses, this process of crossing, if crosses on a horizontal object, may be called static object, then the train has to cover its own length plus horizontal length. Then a train can cross. The process of crossing starts when it touches the bridge, and the process of crossing ends when it covers the bridge. When the cover bridge, then it has to cover when a train covers the bridge to complete the process of crossing. So, it is to be considered the length of the train plus the length of the bridge. This is the difference between, to go for calculation purpose, vertical object and horizontal object. Vertical objects is own length and horizontal objects the train's own length plus the length of the horizontal object. Okay. So, this is the answer for the example 3, and okay, today that is all for today. In the next session, I will work out some more sums on time and distance. Till then, stay safe and take care of yourself. Thank you.